It has been, the program was fantastic. It was transformational. I'm so glad I chose to do it. I was hesitant. I really was downplaying the negative effects that blushing was having in my life. I was very dismissive, and I wasn't really recognizing the extent to which my social interactions, my engagement, my involvement in life was really hindered. So when I actually was considering the course and I was kind of wondering whether I'd go for it or not, I sat down with myself and I was kind of realizing, no, actually, this really is having an impact. So when I started the course, I'm 46, and blushing had been a consistent part of my life since my early 20s. I can pinpoint, well, I did have some kind of nervous occasions in primary school, but I didn't have full on blushing back then. But in my 20s, there was a certain day in college after a certain event, and we were mingling, and I just lit up. It was like a furnace burning, and I was panicked, and I was trying to cover it up, and I was trying to play it off, but it was so obvious. And a friend of mine came over and he said, "Are you okay?" And I stayed there. Um, but that was my first blushing episode. And ever since then, I would have tried various coping mechanisms. Would have tried it all. I would have tried like the high neck collar. I would have tried slapping on the foundation. I would have tried scarves were a big thing, kind of lighter, brighter during the summer and darker ones during the winter. Would have tried it all, and then the green tinted makeup, and it was covering things up, and I was saying no to things, and I was not speaking up at different events or whatnot, because I was like, I don't want to be the highlight. I don't want to be the attention when I don't know if I'm going to get super red or not. So I just ended up being in the background and really feeling a shadow of myself and not recognizing what I had kind of turned into during my 30s and 40s. So the course came along. I saw your video and I saw, right, it's 6 weeks. It's one session a week. I'm going to try it. I'm really going to try it. So I think that was step one. It was just acknowledging that, hey, there is something that's impacting my life. The course, I think, has really like the setup is fantastic in that you realize that you're not alone. So first of all, yeah, I blush. Secondly, there are blushers out there like me, and seeing them and chatting with them and getting to know their backstory, realizing what wholesome people they were, and knowing how it impacted them and how there were such good people, lovely, lovely people, and wishing the best. I was like, actually, yeah, I'm not a bad egg. I deserve to live my life more fully and than I am now. So just fully engaged with the little baby steps that you encouraged us to do. And I love that the baby steps weren't programmed in. So it was up to each of us to nominate and think about at the end of each session, okay, what would I like to work on next? And those incremental changes and that accountability, and knowing that you would be chatting next week with the group. And I think really kind of embedded the new little habits that I wanted to put into my life, and a new focus as well. It was more on me. It was more on figuring out how things were, how I was going about my day. So the baby steps really, really helped. Then I loved the idea of a bloom buddy, and Louise is my bloom buddy, and we've been chatting since. And it's lovely to know that there's someone else who knows your story, who knows you, who gets it, and who's there and who has their own struggles, and who's there if ever I need to reach out, because I don't know anybody in my close circle um, who would have suffered with blushing as much as I do. Since the course, I my blushing has pretty much vanished. Um, there was one occasion there, and I felt it coming up. It was recently enough. But there was that extra element of ease about it. And I was way less reactive, and I was way less fearful about it. And if it had have come on and was visible, so be it. So my mindset to my blushing has very, very much changed. And actually, even just saying that, my blushing, I don't consider a term anymore. I don't associate that it is a part of me. Um, so it's really realizing as well how the words I'm choosing. Um, they're very, very powerful. So yes, those blushing episodes have pretty much vanished. They are no longer a big part of my life. They're no longer a block. And I'm so thankful, really thankful. And grateful that I actually stepped up to the plate, because there was part of me that was saying, no, no, it's grand. I could, so I'm a very much different person now. I'm way more expressive. I've actually got, for the first time in my life, I've got a short haircut. All along, I would have put it back into a ponytail, never went to a hairstylist or anything. So I wear color, I speak out, and I have to practice at that, because I'm not as articulate as I would like to be, but that's something that I'm working on. But I wouldn't have had much practice, really. So I would heavily, really, really wholeheartedly recommend the course, and knowing that, yeah, it is worth it. It is worth giving yourself just that recognition and that space to do something for you, because I was hiding from it. And looking back as well, having come out of where I was, like, I realized that I was depressed. Um, and I definitely feel that movement, that depression, that non-expression, that inactivity, um, that lack of physical activity as well, that was hampering me, and that was having a negative impact on me. I didn't feel healthy. I didn't feel vibrant. And now I've way more expression, and I'm dancing, I'm getting out there, I'm choosing activities. So yeah, I think this phrase will stick with me, and it's like, yeah, from depression to expression. So if like this, like if it resonates with anybody, I would really give the course the thumbs up. Uh, and only when you're ready, once you know that you've got time to do those baby steps and concentrate on you. So the timing for me was right. It was delighted that it just happened to come in tune with yeah, with where I was.
So fantastic. Thank you so much, Maeve. Yeah, the timing has to be right, because you have to be ready to focus on yourself and make it a priority on yourself, don't you? If it's oh no, I got to join that meeting, and I've got so much other stuff to do and I can't make time of it, then it's very difficult to focus on yourself. But I love that expression, from join that meeting, and I've got so much other stuff to do and I can't make time of it, then it's very difficult to focus on yourself. But I love that expression, from depression to expression. I love that. And also that you didn't realize, you knew it was impacting you before, you knew blushing was impacting you before, but it's only now that you're on the other side of it that you realize how much it was impacting you before.
Yeah.
It's
Like
funny,
I
isn't it?
wish, yeah, I wish there was some sort of barometer, etc. But you don't realize it when you're in it. And there's so many distractions nowadays and so many things to focus on outside. Um, and you don't realize it really until you pass through and out the other side. And it's now, so knowing as well that that is the case, um, I am ever more just seeing if there are things in my life that I want to improve that um, aren't feeling great or I could make better, so that I don't kind of that yeah that I'm working on that, aware of that. Um, and there has been like a great change in that. I knew the winter was going to be a long, hard one for myself. So I put in little treats during the winter for myself that I could look forward to, so that winter what mightn't be so long or so cold. And so I introduced sauna into my routine and a weekly visit to the cinema to my routine. So that has come about from the knowing that um, I need to be proactive in my life to maintain that level of satisfaction, living
Yes.
to the fullest, etc. And that has spurred on. I really feel it's as a result of that course of giving me the time of that reflection and knowing that I wasn't fully aware of the negative impact that it was that the blushing was having at that particular time, and everything else that it um, involved. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's but
It's it's so true that what I hear when I'm listening to you is you are now in charge of your life and you're doing the things you want to do because you're growing, you're experimenting, you're trying new things. Because that's what, when I ask people at the beginning of their blushing journey, when I ask people, what do you want to be different? It's basically just to be able to do what I want and go where I want and do what I want. And now you are. You want to go to the cinema, go to the cinema. You want to go dancing, you go dancing. Whereas before, it might not even have been an option.
yeah. And knowing me, like, and knowing what I like, what gives me positive energy, what feeds me, and before I was I was just looking outside. I was wondering what other people were thinking of me. The focus was outside.
Yeah.
I wasn't tuned into me.
Mhm.
I wasn't giving myself the space. I wasn't saying, hey, does this feel right? Or what can I do today to actually make it a bit better? Now I'm actually tuning in.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
and
taking
that's
care of
really
yourself.
helping. Yeah, yeah.
It's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that, Maeve. And I mean, just looking at you, all your wonderful energy, and I noticed your lovely haircut as well. Such a wonderful thing to see, and I'm so happy to hear that. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're
Really,
more than welcome. And I thank you. Yeah, it was great as well. What gave me the encouragement to step into the course and give it a try was knowing your story as well, and knowing that it wasn't going to be, and it was far from textbook, in that I could see that you were truly listening to our feedback, and adjusting what maybe the next week's content would be, or um yeah, if we needed to deviate or whatnot, or someone needed that extra space during the session, you were so flexible. So I
mhm.
really, really, it didn't feel as if it was like a copy of a course,
Yeah.
or that you were set on a certain trajectory. It was, you were really listening to the group that you had and were bringing along. So, and I felt that, and I'm sure the
Yeah.
others did too.
I think that's so important because everybody's journey is unique, and some people yeah, everyone's unique, and there's so much more to blushing than blushing. You
Yeah.
know, there's so much behind it, and so that's why we need to take those baby steps, and we need to take the time, because there isn't just like, you know, there's not just one answer. It's individual. So I'm really glad that it benefited you. I mean, it's a pleasure. It was a pleasure and a privilege for me to accompany you, really. So thank you so much again, Maeve.
You're welcome.